everyone. Today we are here for the presentation based on the H851 research methodology research that I've conducted on optimization of sustainable supply chain in oil and gas. Myself, Arjun Radhakrishnan, I'm a Master of Engineering and Management student. This is the research question that I've proposed, that is to choose the best framework for implementing sustainable supply chain management in oil and gas and to identify the key performance indicators. The research design that I've proposed for this particular research for systematic review, where I've identified the literature by basing on the findings of various authors and collecting the information, and so that I could just use it to find out the solution for my particular research question. I have put that into two categories. One is the identification of factors that actually contribute to sustainability, and second is to choose a framework to optimize the aspects of sustainability in supply chain in oil and gas. It's actually when we consider the oil and gas sector, it has actually come up to a different scenario in 2017 from 2014. In fact, if we consider its history throughout, it has been in a good condition, but due to certain aspects such as the changes in alternative energy and urge for governments to apply or seek new novel energy propositions, there has been a plunge in oil price, and as a result, there has been a shift in global oil power and, of course, oil wealth. And at the same time, when it comes to companies in oil and gas sectors, there has been a shift in their focus from long-term projects to short-term projects. And at this particular moment, it actually is an onus on the company to utilize aspects that would help not just the company but for everyone that is involved in any project involved. Now, when we come to supply chain in oil and gas, we could see that the oil and gas is actually divided into three: upstream, midstream, and downstream. Exploration and production comes in upstream, transportation comes in midstream, and distribution comes in the downstream. Supply chain aspect actually comes in the midstream and downstream. Now, coming to sustainability in oil and gas. What is sustainability? Sustainability is the implementation of principles that could encourage or improve the economic aspects of a company without compromising on the environment and at the same time providing social equity. We could see that environment plays a huge role when it comes to oil and gas. When it comes to production and even in the case of supply chain, there has been evidences of oil spillage that has caused tremendous environmental implications. And when it comes to society, it is all the jobs that we could relate to oil and gas, and at the same time the way the community interact when it comes to companies doing doing oil and gas business. We have to consider another factor, that the environmental factors that contribute to sustainability is not the same as social factors, and there are variations and dynamics that are involved, and we have to give key considerations to all of those. Now, considering the sustainable aspects in supply chain, especially in oil and gas, in the literature I found that there were a limited number of articles that actually concentrated on finding out the factors for companies to implement sustainability in supply chain in oil and gas especially. Researchers such as Ahmed Razai, Sadagiani, Agarwal, and Dubey has come up with factors by dividing it into internal as well as external. Internal factors are those factors that relate to the people involved in the company, the stakeholders, the company itself, the employees, the clients, vendors, and every people that could potentially change the scenario of even the minute things in a company. And the external factors that we have to discuss here is the competition, the economic factors, the government, that all play the role they all play in applying sustainability in oil and gas. Now, coming to the key performance indicators, from all these factors that we have discussed, we have to identify key indicators that could help us develop a model or a framework that pushes us forward to actually apply this on a massive scale in the industry. By choosing qualitative methods, as in the case of Sadagiani and in the case of Ahmed, where he has utilized surveys and case studies, they have come up to two key aspects: political considerations and top management decisions that could actually play a key role in identifying sustainable aspects. Optimization is actually the improvement of what we already have. We are actually optimizing the sustainable aspects of oil and gas, as we know that environmental and social aspects play a crucial role, and there are very much limited study in case of societal implications, societal factors, due to the dynamic nature of societal factors that could contribute to the society in oil and gas supply chain. And why? Why, as I've already discussed, it is the implications that could cause based on whatever processes that we could do in supply chain in oil and gas. And how? This is how optimization frameworks. There are two types of frameworks. One is the mathematical models, where the authors such as Agarwal, Rao Narkade, they have all come up with mathematical models in nonlinear programming, where they've considered all the aspects in a case of variables of nonlinear equations and try to come up with solutions that could actually indicate some way or the other we could model the entire sustainable supply chain in an oil and gas sector. But it could be difficult to convince the top management, where their decision play a crucial role in moving on with a policy to actually support the sustainable aspects in the industry. And as such, people, others such as Dubey, Rahmat, etc., or Thanos have come up with structural models that could actually build based on concepts, and that could actually provide us viable solutions that could actually be comprehensive, more comprehensive, and easier to implement. And the strategy that we have to consider are the dynamic entities, such as that of the social parameters that we have to discuss in this case, and it should be oriented towards the industry. It shouldn't be based on assumptions. It should be based on real life practices and experiences. And there are, as Turing and Muller, one of the key players in sustainable research, says there is a huge role for trade-offs to play when it comes to actually applying sustainability. And we have to assess key factors that could actually move us forward into actually applying. And this is the optimal solution out of all the research that I've conducted, that I've found out. This is total interpretive structural modeling, actually developed by Dubey and Thanos, which actually takes a bottom to top approach, where they have included the institutional factors to social factors, then combining it all together to certain techniques that would bring in more green warehousing, and then goes on to provide economic stability by cross-linking it with economic environmental conservation. Now, all these frameworks that we have been discussing on, such as that of Agarwal, or maybe in the case of Papadopoulos, they have come up with certain approaches that could be complemented with sustainability. Those are green supply chain, which specifically applies to environmental aspects, and reverse logistics that pushes forward the idea of refurbishment of all identities in a supply chain. So this actually provides us the idea as to concentrate more on the societal aspects, because we already have a framework that will concentrate on environmental factors. Now, for the research, I would like to actually take a case study approach on TISM, on a real-time industry, so that actually we could know whether it actually works as the author proposes. Sustainability is still in its infant stage, but we need everyone to come closer together, so that not just us would be beneficial of the economic things that we are actually gaining, but for the future as well. I've come to the conclusion of my presentation, and these are the references that I've taken, and I'm looking forward to any questions that you've got. I hope you've got some valuable information, and thanks a lot.